So we have some breaking news that former Republican presidential candidate and Trump surrogate and supporter Herman Cain has found himself in the hospital after not wearing a mask at the recent Donald Trump rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma that we all saw happen. We all saw that Herman Cain, as well as many others, were there without masks and without practicing social distancing. Here's a tweet of him celebrating this fact live at the rally. He's there trying to pump up the fact that Donald Trump does indeed have at least half a dozen or so black supporters. He's happy to be there. Again, no one wearing masks, no one showing social distancing, none of that. And he's been outspoken about the fact that no one should wear masks or should at least be forced to wear masks in high density public areas even, because here's a tweet of him less than 24 hours ago, less than 24 hours of him going to the hospital. He said the following: "Masks will not be mandatory for the event, which will be attended by President Trump. People are fed up." And he's tweeting about a news report surrounding Donald Trump's rally in South Dakota to be held in the vicinity of Mount Rushmore. And that this is obviously, because it's a presidential rally, gonna have a lot of people there. People are going to be packed in, at least with some kind of density, and very few people will be wearing masks. And they note here that social distancing protocols will not be enforced by local officials, meaning that if you go there, you are putting yourself at risk. And Herman Cain, that talked so loudly and proudly about ignoring basic common sense health advice, now finds himself very ill. This is also a person that has the sort of comorbidities that make it even more dire if you get sick. He's older. He's not a young man. And he also has had stage 4 cancer. And so when you add all of those things together, somebody like Herman Cain especially should have avoided the rally at all costs. But even if they went, they should have gone and distanced themselves from others and wore a mask and asked that all those coming near them wear masks as well, out of a basic sense of self-responsibility. That's what this ideology, that's what this right-wing anti-mask, anti-science ideology is doing to people. It's putting them in literal harm's way just because they don't want to admit that science disagrees with them. And they don't want to admit that Donald Trump saying masks were not needed and that this whole thing was a hoax back in March made them look even worse now and has led to thousands of people needlessly losing their lives. That's why Herman Cain, that's why people like Herman Cain didn't wear their masks, still aren't. Trump seems to be coming around saying it makes him look like the Lone Ranger, so maybe he'll start wearing a mask because he thinks it looks cool. But as we're seeing, masks are not being mandated at Trump and Republican events. And as such, the party leadership, these intellectual figures, people like Herman Cain, aren't just responsible for themselves, but they're responsible for others that look up to them and believe in them. So I'm not making this video to make fun of Herman Cain. I'm not making this video to wish him any ill will. I'm not even going to say that he deserves what happened to him, even though he did, in a statistical sense, do all the wrong things. But it is to say that these should be shown to people as examples, as just part of this broad narrative of people thinking that this is all a hoax, or people putting ahead their ideology and their ego ahead of their health, the health of their family, and the health of all those that are around them. Let this be a lesson. The Herman Cains of the world don't deserve this. I'm not going to say that, but the Herman Cains of the world have taken an easily preventable situation and have caused harm to themselves and others. So, if people don't feel sympathy for Herman Cain, and if some people do blame Herman Cain, I have to say that I sort of see their point.